Hello and good day to you. Welcome to our weekly Science Club pop-up. Join Miss Steph for some fun. Who's Miss Steph? I'm Miss Steph, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. My phone. And hi, over to Facebook. Hi. It's nice to be with you again today. I am going to do a pop-up, and yes, I'm going to give you all that same kind of half promise that I give you every time that I go live, that I won't be before you long. Okay. Puff paint. Puff paint. Now, we have done this for Saturday Science Club before, but we have not really explored the science behind puff paint and why I choose the three materials that I choose to put inside of my puff paint formulation. All right. So puff paint needs to be puffy, sticky, and colorful. Once again, puffy, sticky, and colorful. So to make that happen, we absolutely must have components of our formulation, right? We're going to be chemical engineers for a short little bit, and those components need to come together and form paint. Okay, a substance that we're putting on our paper. We made finger paint one time for a Saturday program, right? And we've used oil paints before. So we've talked about paint in the past. And the idea is paint is some kind of pigmentation that you can get to stick to the paper, right? And so we need to use components. Hello, we've got somebody over on Facebook. So we need to use components that will bring us closer to our objective, right? And I'm saying it really technical, right? I'm turning art into this very focused and technical thing, but that is what it is. Believe it or not, folks who are artists are very, very smart. They have to be, and they really have to understand how their medium works, how their medium makes contact with paper, how it will last over the years, ideally, right? There are paintings that are up in museums that have been there for many, many years. And so for that to happen, right, they have to have used a paint that works well. So today, I will warn you, the stuff that we're going to make today is not like long lasting. Yeah, it's just going to be honest with you. And I definitely encourage you to try it at home and see how long your puff paint withstands, right? See whether or not your puff paint will stand the test of time, as it were. See if it changes color, see if it stops being puffy, and see if it stops sticking to your paper. Remember, those are our three things that we want our puff paint to do: to be puffy, sticky, and colorful. Okay, and so when we're testing paints, we're looking at how that changes over time. So anyway, let's roll. I'm going to make in effect, I will be making 3 samples, but you're going to see me use 2 cups to do it. All right. And so shaving cream, I know I use shaving cream a lot, but really frankly, it works. And it's helpful for a lot of stuff. Okay. Just, I was in Rite Aid today getting shaving cream for my fabulous Summer Science Club students. Virtual Summer Science Club launches on Monday, everybody, and you'll be seeing updates about what the kids and I are doing in Virtual Science Club. And one of the materials that I need to send out to them is grapefruit, right? Everybody is getting the different materials that they need in their own little lab in a bag is what we're doing this year. So for those of you wondering, but wait, Mr. Side Eye, like how are you doing hands-on? How are you doing hands-on science with kids over the summer, but you're doing it virtually? Well, guess what? The way that we're doing it is by sending materials to families. Okay. Anywho, enough about that. I'm going to continue on with our puff paint adventure. Okay, so for those of you just joining us, today we're making puff paint and I'm going to talk about the science behind that. And we've made puff paint in different iterations with Saturday Science Club and all that type of stuff. And my babies, my little science clubbers, definitely, you guys had a video on that. But today, this is for my slightly olders, so that you can really get an experience of what 3 different formulations is like. So we're going to vary, we only vary one thing. To make it an experiment, you can only change one thing, right? We're doing one variable, and our variable is the amount of glue. Now, yes, the amount of shaving cream is going to be hard to manage, frankly, because, when you're squirting and all that kind of stuff, this is particularly hard to measure. However, proportionally wise, right, the amounts in comparison, I'm going to do no glue and more glue and a lot of glue, okay? That's essentially what we're doing with our puff paint formulations today. And then, of course, we're just going to do 1 drop of food coloring. Once again, hi, it's nice to be with you today, and we're having some fun with some puff paint. We're going to make it and see what happens. Okay? So, like I said, we'll do a no glue sample, and let's go ahead and make that first. So, a no glue sample is just going to have shaving cream and food coloring in it. Okay, and then a little bit of glue sample, right? We'll make in our second cup, and then a lot of glue will add glue to our first version of our thing. So anywho, so let's make this. Hi, how you doing? Did I wave? I think I waved at you in LBC. So if I didn't, hi, this is me waving at you in person. Thank you for joining me today. All right, so let's get our shaving cream down. Okay, one of my favorite parts of this activity is getting to put shaving cream inside the cup because it looks cool. All right, so we're gonna add about, you see the amount of shaving cream that I've got down. And once again, this is our no glue sample because we're making 3 versions of it, and we're going to explore that and see what happens. Right, just 1 drop. Then for our little bit of glue, like I said, we're only using 2 cups, but we're going to make 3 samples. So let's do just a little bit of glue down in there in the bottom, and I'll have to stir it really well, right? Okay. Hey, hey, dig it out. It's all right. You can pass through all you want. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. All right, so we've got our second sample, okay, with our little bit of glue. I just put a little bit of glue at the bottom. And then, of course, after I test this sample, then I'll add a bunch of glue in so that you're able to see, right? So we've got our 3 types of puff paint that we're making today. We've got a very, very simple formulation. And just because a formulation is simple doesn't mean that it's not really cool and that it's not exciting and that it doesn't do something fabulous. Once again, for those of you just now joining me, hi, I'm Miss Steph. It's great to have you with me today on today's live. It's our live pop-up, and we're doing the science and kind of some tinkering behind making DIY puff paint. It's one of my favorite things to make with all of our age groups. It's very flexible. It's a very, very flexible activity. Deacon Al knows because I made this with his kids one time. Okay. Yeah, so this is our first one. You see it's this nice kind of bright green. All right. So I'm going to put this down. Actually, before I put it down, I'm going to label my paper. This is something you probably would not do with your artwork, right? But I'm going to do this test for you, so that when you get to do it at home and you try it, you know what to do. So I'm going to say I've got a no glue. I'm going to write a little bit of glue, okay? And then a lot of glue, right? So I'm writing that down It's kind of a little hard to see on Instagram, but I've just got my 3 different things that I've got there so that I know what's happening. And at the end of our time together, I'll show you the differences in texture and in how it's holding on our paper. All right. So that's my first sample. No glue. 1, 2, 3. Very quick. Very, very quick. All right. Next, a little bit of glue. Remember I threw in some glue down at the bottom for this one. Glue, shaving cream, and food coloring. Stir, stir, stir. Stir, 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 stir. Stir, 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 stir. All right. So we got another person on Instagram. Hi. All right. So today, for our Wednesday afternoon Science Club pop-up, we're just making a little DIY puff paint. And I'm walking you through the various kind of things that you can do to adjust and to change your puff paint and really turn it into a science experiment, right? Here at Miss Steph Science Club, we believe that art is science and science is art, folks. I know for some people that might just be sacrilege, but guess what? That's how I roll. Okay. So one of the things that might be a little hard for you to see on the camera, but there's a textural difference, okay? Thank you. Thanks for dropping by. There's a textural difference, okay? And the one with the glue, you can tell has a bit more has more structure to it, okay? So it's going to hold the puffiness, okay? After it dries, after our sample dries, okay? It'll stay puffy because even just that little bit of glue made a difference. All right? So yeah, so now let's see what happens if we make this third sample. We're going to do a third sample and we're going to say, let's add a significant amount of glue, right? So we're going to take and put a lot of glue in. Now, before I do that, I want you to kind of think through in your head, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it will make it heavier, lighter, shinier, stickier? I mean, these are the things that we think through and we say, let me think, let me predict, let me make a hypothesis before I move forward. Okay? So this was a sample that had no glue in it before. Now let's go ahead and add some more. Add quite a bit. Start, swirl, 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 swirl. Remember, because this is our a lot of glue sample. Yeah? Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and use a different stick. All right? So I'm going to stir. Another thing that I can tell you as far as when I'm stirring, it is a little more difficult, or basically the sample's giving me a little bit more pushback when I have glue or a lot of glue inside of it, okay? And of course the color is a bit lighter because I've now added more substance, and also I've added a white substance, right? And so that is changing my color. And again, the stirring, the experience of stirring this is different. And so now do you see this kind of droopy texture, right? When I pick this one up, I get this. Whereas when I pick my one up that has just a little bit of glue inside of it, enough to engage, to kind of participate, but not too much to overpower my puff. Okay? And I mean my puffiness of my paint, and I don't mean my puffiness of my afro. Okay? Because my afro is always puffy. Yes? And for those of you who know Miss Steph's college nickname. You know what that reference is from. I rock rough and stuff with my Afro puffs. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so we have made 3 different samples of puff paint. Okay, so glad. Yes, right? Yes. Okay. I've got a comment over here on Facebook connecting, making a connection, saying it's similar to making slime. It is, right? It's slime without the activator. So you're not getting a chemical change, you're getting a physical change. You're getting these chemicals that are just sitting together, similar to salt water. When you add salt to water, it's just water dissolved in salt. It's not changing, it's not becoming something different. And slime, right, is becoming something different. Whereas puff paint, you're mixing the components together and you want them to play together. Okay? And so let's look at our 3 puff paint samples. You should notice a big difference. Even on the camera, right? We've got 3 different puff paint samples, ladies, gents, and people, right? So we have this sample, okay? This sample here is a bit darker, right? So the glue kind of changes how the color looks. And then this sample in the middle it's puffy, but frankly, you can tell that this one is going to stay puffy longer because it's got some structure from the glue, okay? And then this one, this is almost letting us know too much glue, right? So if you're making this at home and you want to try it at home and you're getting this kind of soupiness that we're seeing here, can you imagine, like, if I held this like this, eventually this would just kind of continue to slide down the paper a bit, which is what we do not want when we're making puff paint. We want it to be puffy. This sample here looks very puffy now. Now, anyway. But when you try this at home, I want you to think through, okay, and predict whether or not this sample, the no glue sample, will stay puffy. See how, like, I can just touch this and it comes right out, like it's gone. Right? No give. Whereas this one, see? If I rub it, you see how it's got enough structure to it where it doesn't just disintegrate? Okay? And then this one is just way too much glue. Way too much glue on my pinky. It's not holding its pigment. It's not holding its structure. It's not being puffy. Remember, puff paint is supposed to be puffy, sticky, and colorful. All right. Yeah, that's what we're doing today. All right. So, ladies, gentlemen, persons, today we did a quick little exploration of the science behind my puff paint recipe. And is this like an original recipe that I made up? No, it's not. I watched a YouTube video years ago and got the idea from whomever that person. I don't even remember who that was. But I have been making puff paint ever since with my wonderful and beautiful scientists like yourselves, and we've had a great time with this particular project. So I encourage you to try it at home. You're going to need some glue. I strongly suggest using white glue. There's all kinds of glue out there. There's glitter glue, this, that, and whatever. I guarantee you'll be a happier camper. Okay? Using some just basic school glue. You can use washable glue, but it definitely needs to be your basic school glue. Does it have to be Staples brand? No, but Staples was the stuff that was on sale that day that I got mine, and so that's why I bought that one. Alrighty then, and so then we also have your just basic shaving cream. You can use any brand of shaving cream. I use Barbasol very frequently just because that tends to be easy to get here in New York City. But it has to be shaving cream, not shaving gel, not yada. Absolutely has to be shaving cream. And this 1 can of shaving cream will make quite a bit of, what's that, puff paint. And then, of course, I've got my food coloring. So I used the gel food coloring today. And if you use your regular one-of-the-mill kind of the liquid food coloring, you're definitely going to want to use several drops instead of just the one, like, kind of drop or glob that I used today, so that you get a high enough pigmentation level. All right, so people, thank you for joining me. This was great. Wasn't this fun? Didn't we make something awesome? I really encourage you all to try this at home, and I look forward to seeing you. When am I seeing you? Am I seeing you on Saturday? No, I'm not seeing you this Saturday. Why? Because it's July 4th, and it's the Saturday before Summer Science Club, so I need just like a moment. Okay? And so you will be getting a rerun. Okay, so on Facebook and on YouTube, I will do an upload of a rerun of one of our fabulous times together. All right, so that you get something up. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again this time. Well, not this time, but again next week. All right, sometime on Wednesday afternoon. And remember, please like, comment, share. Thank you for joining me for today's Science Club Pop-Up. We do these once a week on Wednesday afternoons. You can watch live and comment live on Facebook, or always come right back here on YouTube for the replay. Have a wonderful day.